Hey everybody, welcome back to Notary Stars. We're going to look at re-inking your stamp here. The only one I'm going to show you is NNA's brand. It's not their brand, but it's the one that they sell most of. This is the Trodat Notary stamp. See, it's got my little Notary label on the top. These are really the easiest to re-ink and the easiest to use on a general basis, day in and day out. If you look on the back side of the stamp, there's this little button that locks it or unlocks it. Now, I use that when my stamp is in my bag just to keep the cover from falling off and messing up my stamp and anything else that's in my bag. But I'm going to pull that off and unlock it. That expands the base here. This is what allows you to, obviously, stamp your documents. But what we're interested in is this little groove right here. And I don't know if you can see that. In that little groove, there is a tray, a felt tray, an ink tray, but we have to be able to get to it to re-ink it. So if you see I'm depressing my stamp just a little bit, that brings that ink tray right there into view. So I'm going to lock my stamp right there, and you see how it's kept that tray accessible for me. All you have to do, see if I can do this without getting ink all over me, I got my little glovies on, is pull that tray out. That's the plastic end. The bottom is the felt ink tray. This is what you're going to be re-inking and putting back in to your stamper. I keep several of these in my bag, inked and ready to go, just in the event that I get into a situation where I didn't realize that my stamp, or forgot to re-ink my stamp, these are ready to go. When you do re-ink these, you want to let them sit for a couple of hours, 3 hours, I would say on average, just so that that ink that you've applied to this felt pad actually soaks in and distributes evenly. And then you're going to want to stamp your stamp several times on a piece of paper until it looks even and it's ready to go. Obviously, you're going to shred that piece of paper when you're doing that. So when you get ready to ink, you need to use an ink that is manufacturer recommended, because these felt pads are different fibers, and sometimes using the wrong ink on it will actually destroy this pad. So make sure you're using the manufacturer recommended ink to re-ink your pad. When you do that, you're only going to be putting a couple of drops on your pad, okay? Maybe 3, top, middle, and bottom. And you're going to use this tip. It's kind of flat. You're going to use the tip to actually help spread that ink out for you, okay? So once you've got 3 on there, spread it out, and then let it sit for a couple of hours. And the biggest danger or mistake that people make is putting too much ink on the pad. It really doesn't take much at all. When that's all finished, make sure the pad is upside down and you're ready to install it back into your stamper. It's just a matter of sliding it back into that, like a drawer in a dresser, right? Back into that. Make sure you hear a little bit of a click. And then when you release the lock, you'll see it drops down below, so it can't fall out or be moved out while it's in this position. And then I'm going to go ahead and put the cover back on my stamp and lock it. That's how it's going to stay in my case. That's all there is to it. Guys, if you have a stamp that doesn't have the tray in it, if it's not that Trodat brand, you can probably find a YouTube video that will walk you through how to re-ink that particular stamp. Thanks for being here. Hope this helps a little.